I wonder if we'll ever get any, like, big storylines in this series. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we're here with episode 15 of Big City Greens. And yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like I said in the pre-thoughts, I wonder if we will get any kind of like major ongoing plot related stories. And it doesn't have to be like forever or anything, just like maybe for a couple episodes. Maybe even have an episode that doesn't have two segments, but is just, a single segment, single story episode that's a little bigger than normal. I think that could be pretty interesting. I know that this series is mainly episodic, and that's fine. It makes it work. But I'm just curious if they're ever gonna like have like bigger events. I know there's like a movie for this that just came out, but I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about like actual like in series plot heavy episodes. And episodic shows can do that, where it just focuses on some important stuff for a bit. It's kind of unclear if this series is going to be something like that. And I want to make clear right away, I don't want you to tell me. Do not spoil me on what's to come for this series. When I'm talking through this stuff, I mean it like I'm trying to like work through my thoughts and everything. I don't actually want you to answer, you know. Um, I'm just working through my thoughts and trying to think about what could be and everything. So, yeah, I, as usual, have no clue what's going to happen here. Because, like I've said before, this isn't really a series that I see talked about too often. Like, every now and again, I'll see something about it. But for the most part, like, even people who enjoy it, they just casually enjoy it, it seems. They don't really go into a lot with it on social media. Excuse me. And because of that, a lot of times you just don't get any kind of view into people's thoughts on it. So we're just going to have to continue to wait and see based on the episodes. Which is fine. That's how I do most things, but still. Um yeah, I'm curious to see where this continues to go. Let me check something real quick. I've checked this multiple times before, I feel, but probably a good idea nonetheless. Many episodes in Big City Greens. I specifically want to look for season 1. Okay, so there's 30 episodes. So we're probably going to take one more break. I just don't know when it's going to be exactly, and it won't be for as long this time. We're not going to have like that long of a break, hopefully. Um but yeah, maybe somewhere around episode 20 or close to that. Um and I want to talk about this now and bring this up now because one, it gets me set up to where it's like, oh, that's going to be a good point. I'm going to be ready for that in the future now. And two, it lets you guys be aware of what my plans are. So, yeah, telling you now, there's probably going to be one more break since there's 30 episodes to this season. Um, we're probably going to need at least one more. But we will see. We'll see when that ends up happening. Like I said, probably around 20. Maybe not exactly at 20, but around there. So, for the time being, we're just going to get into this, I guess. I mean, not much else to do otherwise. I'm definitely excited to see more. Hopefully, see more Gloria. But I like to see more of all the characters. So, let's just get into it and see what this episode has in store for us. Let me cut in here real quick to remind you that we have a lot of awesome content on the channel. A plethora of series reactions every Monday through Friday, with 2 on Friday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday, as well as a few Let's Plays on the channel. We alternate days between Horizon Forbidden West and Baldur's Gate 3, and Anno Mutationum is on Saturdays. Please go to the description below and follow the link to this video's reaction. It is redirected for copyright. And don't forget to like and subscribe for all future content on Princess of Gay. Thank you so much. See you all at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Sometimes I feel a little bit psychic, you know? I mean, I know this isn't exactly what I was talking about in the pre-thoughts with, like, a major storyline and everything, because I was talking about, like, taking up, like, an entire episode, both segments and all. But to be fair, this is a now recurring instance of Chip Whistler and trying to, you know, kind of compete with the Greens, or I guess technically kind of the other way around. But the point is, we now have a recurring bad guy, a recurring antagonist, villain, whatever term you want to use. And although it's not quite what I was talking about, it's pretty damn similar, because this is an ongoing narrative, an ongoing story, and it's definitely going to continue to head places. We're going to definitely continue to see Chip Whistler at different points, and I could honestly see the season finale focusing entirely on that. Maybe then we would get our full episode story. I could definitely see that, and I think that this is setting up for some pretty good stuff. Plus, I like this kind of rivalry going on. It's actually pretty fun. But let's talk about these 2 segments. So the first segment we have, Cricket is sick because he's been sharing his food with the dog, which, yeah, I guess that could make you a little sick, but not quite in the way that we saw there, I guess. But either way, he wants all of his family members to kind of like take care of his duties that he's set forth for the day. Tilly takes over his job at the cafe. Grandma is going to hang out with Remy, and Bill, meanwhile, is doing, well, he initially wasn't going to, but he is going to, like, put an end to it, but was going to deal with these kids who wanted to watch Remy run around the dog park with meat in his pockets. Because, alright. So let's talk about each of those parts to that, each of those segments to the segment. The dog park one, we'll start with that. We'll kind of go backwards. We'll work backwards on this one. Was just kind of like, what the fuck? Why would you do this? And I like how the response to that is like, no one knows. None of the other kids there know. Cricket doesn't even really know why he was doing it, but he knows he needed to do it because he needed to keep his promise. Bill eventually relents and and decides to do it in his place. And yeah, the dogs, you know, chase him and chase them out of the dog park and stuff, and it's chaos. It was probably the weakest of these 3 segments for me. of these three segments of the segment. But it's like it was harmless. I didn't have any issues with it. It was just there wasn't much to it. Uh, we also have the segment with Grandma Alice and Remy going to the trampoline place. Like I said in the reaction, I've been to like one of those maybe once, and it's not really my thing. Like I'm clearly not a super physically active person as it is. But I'm also I've just never been big into trampolines. Like I've never really understood the appeal of them. I don't think they're like terrible or anything. I don't hate them. It's just I don't get it. It's like you're jumping, and the trampolines help you jump with their bounciness. Yay! I don't get it. It's not for me. I don't see how it's entertaining or fun, but I'm not gonna yuck on anybody's yum. If people like it, that's great. Have fun with it. It's just not for me. But seeing like Remy being like really nervous and anxious about it, normally Cricket helps him kind of come out of his shell and whatnot, come out of his comfort zone. So Grandma Alice has to do so here, and yeah, they end up having fun and possibly causing serious injuries to a bunch of kids. Um, because when they bounced those kids up, those kids did not land on the trampolines. Um, they landed on the hard floor. It was probably a good idea for them to run out of there right after. Just saying. Oh, just yeah, wouldn't want to stick around after that. Um, but we then had the best of the segments of the segment, and that was of course the one with Tilly and Gloria. And no surprise whatsoever that that's my favorite of the three parts of this segment, because it involves Gloria, but also I think it was just the most informed, I guess you could say. Like compared to the other segments, this one I feel like had more like setup to it, like from previous episodes and whatnot. It felt like it was like a bigger deal. Like yeah, we've had Remy in a couple episodes and all, but the trampoline thing, it's just like okay, just random hanging out. The stuff with Gloria, like trying to be employee of the month and like trying way too hard to achieve that, while also forgetting kind of what like being a good employee is about and just focusing on herself there and the need for validation, which is valid and fair, but Jesus, girl. It's like that has been set up well often throughout this series with Gloria. And Tilly being like shockingly good at this also just feels natural. And we've seen her, I think, work the cafe before. And I don't think she was this good, so it's like that's interesting too. Like kind of like learning and growing from her past experiences. Um, but then seeing her choose to sacrifice that and be a nuisance just to get Gloria to, um, you know, be in the spotlight again and allows her to show how good of an employee she can be. It's like that was also just really nice. And it's like it sometimes you just like to see stuff that's really nice. So that was my favorite part of the first segment for sure. But let's talk about the second segment. So, farmers market. Of course, the greens are selling there. Makes a lot of sense. But as Grandma Alice takes Bill to go find some, hot peppers and all, because Grandma Alice is a boss like that, we see the kids have to deal with Chip Whistler again. And the full-blown rivalry turns into a tomato throwing war, basically. And while there's casualties on both sides, it comes down to the end when Cricket is convinced to like put everything aside, but Chip doesn't take that and just, ruthlessly takes him down while he's unarmed. This causes everyone to turn against Chip because, it would. Like, as unrealistic as the situation is here, if people around just saw an adult man, like, ruthlessly, like, attack, even with tomatoes, an unarmed child, it's like, yeah, people aren't going to like that. um, but yeah, so everything turns against him. He gets big mad because of it and starts eating all of the greens, tomatoes, and then he eats all the peppers that Grandma Alice got from this shady pepper salesman, which I'll get to that point in a second. This, of course, causes his tongue to basically dissolve. The filling in his tooth is destroyed, and he's, gonna come back to get them another day. But yeah, let's talk about Grandma Alice and Bill's adventure during all of this. Because they go to the hot pepper district of the farmer's market, which that's apparently a thing. I would love to go there. um, and while there, they they end up finding that none of the peppers there are to Grandma Alice's tastes, or I guess heat specifications. Grandma Alice likes her peppers to be super, super hot, like extremely so. And, fair enough. I like hot peppers too. Um, and yes, by the way, if anyone wonders, I have eaten whole ghost peppers. I have done the challenge, if you want to call it a challenge, multiple times. Anyway, so they end up coming across this shady salesman who just is designed to look like a pepper because why the fuck not? But he takes them to a tent in an alleyway, which Jesus. And instead of, robbing and possibly, killing them, he offers them, I guess, what are supposed to be equivalent to black market peppers. And they seem to impress Grandma Alice a lot more than the peppers outside of the tent in the farmer's market and all. And that's when he brings out the big guns, his best pepper, his spiciest pepper, and yeah, that wins her over. Like, she actually really likes this one. She calls it zesty and everything. And because she just ate an entire one whole, this impresses the shady pepper guy, and he agrees to let her just have the rest of his stock, which are the ones that Chip Whistler ate and caused total mouth destruction with. Um, but yeah, it's like, and these were peppers that were so hot, even looking at them caused you to tear up, which we saw literally happen with Bill. And it's like, they didn't give us like a Scoville unit or anything, but I'm presuming they would probably be higher than like probably any real pepper in real life. I think that's just the general idea of it. I think the hottest pepper currently is Pepper X, which is artificially created. I'm not 100% what the hottest naturally occurring pepper is. Is it the ghost pepper? Because I believe the Carolina Reaper is not artificially created. That's like the wrong way to put it. But like crossbred and stuff. And I think the Moruga Scorpion is as well. I think the ghost pepper might be the spiciest naturally occurring pepper. I wonder if I could find that out. Let me see if I can find that on Google. Spiciest natural pepper. Wow, it actually did. Oh, the Carolina Reaper is natural. No, wait. No. No, it even says here it was like crossbred and stuff for the heat and all. I'm talking naturally grown. While most of the world's hottest peppers are genetically bred, the Naga Moric, or Morich, I don't know how it's exactly pronounced, is the only naturally occurring pepper measuring over 1 million. Okay, so the Naga Morich, or Moric, again, I don't know how it's pronounced, but that is the hottest natural pepper. Oh, but this is saying the Trinidad Scorpion is. I'm getting mixed results looking this up. Yeah, okay, so Pepper X is the hottest pepper, period. But that's not naturally occurring. That's followed by the Carolina Reaper and then the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion. Okay. So yeah, I'm seeing two different answers here. It's either the Naga Morich. Hmm. Let me check this blog here because this is odd. Oh, jeez, Jesus, come on. Yeah, there's the ghost pepper, Trinidad 7 pot, Naga Viper. Naga Morich is also known as Serpent's Chili. Yeah, it says on this article that's the only naturally occurring pepper measuring over 1 million on the Scoville scale. But then this other thing is saying that about the Trinidad Scorpion. Is Trinidad Scorpion natural? Yeah, it looks like the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion is natural. So hold on, let me try to find the Trinidad Scorpion Scoville. The Trinidad Scorpion is between 1,200,000 and 2 million heat units. Okay, so 1.2 million and 2 million. And now let's check the Naga Moric Scoville. Is between 1 and 1.5. So it kind of depends on like the height of the heat. Um but it seems like the Trinidad Scorpion is hotter. Okay. I know, kind of a little odd tangent to go on, but I mean, it was relevant to the episode. Um, the hottest pepper I have eaten like as a pepper is the ghost pepper, but I have had like Carolina Reaper hot sauces and stuff. I don't think I've gone above Carolina Reaper though, because I know like I know the hot one sauce. God, I can't think of what it's called, but you know the sauce First Week Feast's Hot Ones series. Um, I know the newest version of that is made with Pepper X, but I've only had like an older version of that. So I haven't had Pepper X in anything. I'd be willing to try it. I absolutely would be. And I haven't tried anything with Trinidad Scorpion or anything like that either. I haven't even really heard of Nagamoric before, so yeah. I think the hottest I have eaten is Ghost Pepper, and just the hottest I've had, period, is Carolina Reaper, which again was in a hot sauce. Um, but I'm always willing to try anything at least once, so I'd be willing to go hotter. But yeah, that was an interesting episode. I did really enjoy it. Both segments were fun, and both had like parts of it that I really liked, and then parts that I were like just on basically. Again, nothing bad, but because it's like the first segment had like the Gloria stuff, the Gloria and Tilly stuff, which I loved, but it also had the the Bill and Cricket stuff, which was just And then the second segment, it's like I was more interested in the Pepper stuff than the rivalry with Chip Whistler, if I'm being honest. But I do like the Chip Whistler stuff too because recurring antagonists. So yeah, I like this episode. This is a good episode. Um, I had fun with it, and I definitely can't wait to see where the recurring stuff that we have now continues to go. But that all being said, I want to thank you as always for tuning in, and hopefully we just continue to have fun with all the reactions and stuff coming up. Just as a quick note, um, we have we despite the graphics down here and everything, the new graphics like not showing YouTube stuff, we're still doing YouTube stuff on Mondays. So that's not changing. These graphics just don't really show it because I would have to. I didn't think of it if I'm being honest, but um, there's also just taking into account with all the new graphics and new thumbnails and everything. Not much else about the channel is changing, just some updates. And I haven't really talked about this anywhere else, so I'm just talking about it here. The content of the channel is staying the same. Nothing's really changing with that kind of stuff. It's just some new updated thumbnails and whatnot, mostly for reactions. I think the Let's Play thumbnails are going to stay the same. It's mostly reaction thumbnails. They're getting the upgrade. But either way, if you have any questions, any thoughts, anything like that, please feel free to leave those in the comments. And for now, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.